Hi, I'm Jeff Grant, and today I'll be teaching you a 30-minute Vinyasa flow yoga class. You don't need much to do this class. If you have a mat, that's great, use it. If not, just any surface where you're not sliding around. And usually yoga feels better to do barefoot. You can feel the ground better, but it can be just on whatever floor you have at home, on a carpet. It's just about anything will go. Also, a couple props that could be helpful for us later in this practice. One is a belt or any kind of strap, so something like this, especially if you have super tight legs, your hamstrings are tight, then this is going to be useful for us later. And the other thing we can use is a block, a yoga block, or anything like this. Even a couple books, paperback books stacked up would do the same job. So let's begin the practice now. I'll meet you on the mat. So we'll start the practice with a short warm-up, and this is going to be done in the tabletop position. In the tabletop position, we have the knees right under the hips, hands under the shoulders. We're just making a little box here, and the tops of the feet are going to be on the mat. And from the tabletop position, as we breathe in, we'll lift the chin and arch the lower back. And then breathe out, round through the spine, so a big round upper back. We want to connect the movement with the breath. Breathe in through the nose, lift the chin. Breathe out again through the nose and round the upper back. Let the chin come into the chest. Breathe in, lift the chin, draw the shoulder blades together. Breathe out, lower the chin, round through the upper back, and tuck the pelvis. Breathe in, lengthen the spine, look up. Breathe out, round the spine, look back. Two more of these. Inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, round the spine. Last one, inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, round through the back. And then come back to that tabletop position. And we'll take just the left hand and spin it around so that the fingertips face back toward the knee. So we're just spinning it counterclockwise and getting a little bit of a stretch through the left forearm. And you can move back and forth or side to side, whatever feels good to create some openness. Especially if you're spending a lot of time on a computer, this is an area that gets really tight. We want to just create movement, get some energy moving through there. And then release, and you can just shake out this hand. And let's do the same thing on the other side. Spin the right hand around, moving it clockwise this time until the fingertips are facing back toward the right knee. And if the hand doesn't go all the way, just take it as far as it wants to go for you. And again, you can move side to side, front to back, whatever feels like a nice stretch. And then release and just shake out the right hand. Bring the hands back to the mat again. Separate the fingers so they're all in even space. There's even spacing between each of the fingers. And we'll tuck the toes under, and we're pressing up into the downward dog position. And here, bend the knees, especially in these early down dogs. Send the hips back as far as you can with the knees bent. And imagine a line that goes from your fingertips through the shoulders, through the hips, up to the ceiling, up to the sky coming out of the hips. One straight line. And we want the feet to be just about hip width. And here you can stretch one heel down as you bend the opposite knee and kind of do a little walk in place. Let the hips stretch here. And then come back to a down dog where the legs are still. And we're going to look forward, bring the left knee down to the mat, and step the right foot forward. So the right knee is bent, the right knee is right over the right ankle. And the left foot, the foot that's in the back, the top of the foot is pressing down on the mat. And that's going to help you with balance as you press the foot into the ground. And we'll just bring the hands straight up. We want to keep them separated. If you bring them too close together, for many of us, it's super tight in the shoulders. So I'd like for your shoulders to be relaxed. Keep the neck nice and soft. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, lunge a little more deeply on that right knee. And then bring the hands down, hands to the mat. And we step back to a downward facing dog again. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So bring the right knee to the mat, step the left foot forward. Place the top of the back foot, the right foot on the mat, and bring the arms straight up. And this time, let's take a different position with the hands. And we can do this by moving, like bending at the elbows, and try to find a position where it takes tension away from your neck and shoulders. And then take a breath in. And as you breathe out, lunge more deeply on the left leg. And where we want to feel this is the front of the right hip. And you can take your gaze up to the ceiling and then release the hands. Step back to downward facing dog. And again, in downward facing dog, bend the knee so that you can keep the back straight. And then with that nice straightness in the spine, you can start to lower the heels toward the ground, but it's okay if they don't touch. Just in that direction. From here, bend the knees, lift the heels, look forward, and that's the direction we're going to walk the feet. So you can take 2 or even 4 steps forward, just bring the feet up until they're in the same line as the hands, and we're going to hang here. Hold on to opposite elbows. Relax your head and just let gravity pull you down to the ground. And then release the elbows and start to roll yourself up to standing. We want to stack one vertebra at a time. Keep the feet hip width. The hands come beside you with the palms facing forward. Keep the chin level, the back of the neck long. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale again through the nose. From here, we move into a standing flow. Inhale, lift the arms up, look up at your thumbs. Exhale, bring the hands wide, the palms move away from each other and come all the way forward into a forward fold. Relax your head. Bend the knees, breathe in, come to a half lift position. The spine straightens, the back of the neck is long. On a breath out, plant the hands, so hands to the ground, and step the feet back into a high plank position. The body's in a totally straight line. The quads, the top of the legs are strong. We hold this for one more breath in. And then as you breathe out, we lower all the way down to the ground. Place the tops of the feet on the ground. Breathe in. We're lifting just the upper torso up into a cobra. The elbows point to the back. And as you breathe out, come to the knees, tuck the toes, and we come to downward facing dog. Couple breaths in down dog. And then on an inhale, lift the right leg in the air behind you. Keep the right leg straight as you point the toes to the back of the room. Then bend the right knee. And we're stepping the right foot forward to the inside of the right hand or as far as it goes, and then you can help it forward more. And we're coming all the way up into Warrior One. So the back foot will spin until it's flat on the ground. The toes point to a 45-degree angle. The right knee is bent and the right knee is right over the right ankle. We square the hips to the front and lift the arms straight up and find that spacing. Palm together, hands apart. Find the spacing where it still feels good for your shoulders and you're not creating more tension. For Warrior One, take a breath in, reach the hands a little higher just to create movement to open them into Warrior Two. So in Warrior Two, we've created one long line with the arms right through the collarbone, connecting them together. You can look back at the back hand, the back arm to straighten it out, but then bring the gaze back, the warrior gaze back to the right fingertips. And let's connect a couple of these together. So breathe in, let the arms come up, Warrior One. Breathe out, open the hands to Warrior Two. Breathe in, open the arms up to Warrior One. Breathe out, Warrior Two. Last one, breathe in, reach up to Warrior One. Breathe out, Warrior Two. Bring the left hand behind the back, the palm faces away from you, and the right hand reaches up. So we're doing a stretch to the back, reversing the warrior position now. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, come back to Warrior Two. Bend the right elbow and bring the right elbow to the right knee. The left hand will pass by your left ear and come to the front. And we're creating one long line through the left leg, through the hip, and extending out through the left fingertips. Look up at your left elbow. On an inhale, come back up all the way into Warrior Two. From Warrior Two, straighten the right leg. You can walk the left foot in a little bit. We're making the base for triangle now. So both legs stay straight. Arms come up to this straight line position. Look at your right hand. Breathe in, reach the right hand forward. As you breathe out, the right hand will come down toward the ground and the left arm will come straight up to the sky. And we want to put the left arm over the right hand. Both palms are facing away from you, and there's no weight on the right hand. So you've lifted yourself up enough to use the core to support the pose and keep it energized and active instead of sinking down to the ground. I'm looking up at the left hand for one more breath. Then look down. Inhale, bring yourself all the way up. Bring the hands to the hips. We're going to add a little bit of a twist here. So bring the hips to the front. The back heel will lift up and just lower the left knee all the way down to the ground. We'll bring the hands into this position. So palms are together and we have a straight line, elbows through the wrist. So elbow, wrist, wrist, elbow. We're keeping this position, but we're twisting it over to the right. So the left elbow crosses the right knee. Come to that prayer position, straight line, elbow, wrist, wrist, elbow. And then look over the right elbow, look up to the sky, twisting to the right. If you want to make this a little more of a power position, you can lift the left knee off the ground, keep the left leg super strong. And then we release the pose. We're going to release it by coming into a high lunge, look up. And from the high lunge position, we're going to take a strong step forward, bring the left foot forward so it's separated hip width with the right foot. And from here, the hands come to the hips. Take a breath in. Exhale, fold all the way forward. 2 fingers and a thumb will reach around each of the big toes. Bend the knees, straighten the back, and pull yourself forward with a straight back. The back of the neck stays long. And then bring the hands to the hips. Breathe in as you come all the way up. Breathe out. Bring the hands back to the side, palms facing forward. Breathe in, lift the hands up, look up. Breathe out, the palms move away from each other. Swan dive all the way down into a forward fold. Relax your neck. Bend the knees. Breathe in, half lift position. Plant the hands on the ground. As you breathe out, step back to the high plank. From high plank, lower down in a push-up. Come to the knees if you need to, but if you can come down without it, give that a try. Tops of the feet are on the mat. Breathe in, cobra. Breathe out, come to the knees, tuck the toes under, and press back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left foot in the air behind you. Bend the left knee, and we step the left foot forward. Maybe it makes it all the way to the hands. If not, and you end up halfway, give it some help. We ground the back foot so the right heel comes down. The back foot is at a 45-degree angle, and it's flat on the ground. And we bring the hands up into warrior one. Square the hips to the front so the right hip comes forward. And stay with your breath here in warrior one. See if you can feel for the left knee being over the left ankle. And then check yourself. Look down and see, is it there? On your next breath out, open to warrior two. And in warrior two, have a check back. What's happening with the back arm? Is it bent? Is it straight? Where is it pointing? Straighten it. Make one nice long line. Memorize that position. Breathe in, come back to warrior one. Breathe out, warrior two. Breathe in, warrior one. Breathe out, warrior two. Move with the breath. Breathe in, warrior one. Breathe out, warrior two. Bring the right hand behind the back. Palm is facing out. The left palm faces up. And we just come into a twist to the back, reaching back, reversing the warrior position. And then on an exhale, back to warrior two. In warrior two, we bend the left elbow. The left elbow comes to the left knee. The right hand passes the right ear into side angle pose. Keep the back leg straight. And really try to reach the right fingertips away from you into the sky as you press the outer edge of the right foot into the ground. That creates the energy in the pose. On a breath in, we come all the way back up. Straighten the left leg. Step the right foot a little closer. We want both legs to be straight, setting up for the triangle position. Hands come to the T. Reach the left hand forward, the left hand comes down. The right hand goes to the sky. And we want to try to place the left hand under the right. Both palms face away from us. The legs stay straight, and the gaze is up to the right hand. And then look down. Inhale, we come back up. Spin just a little to the left. Lift the right heel off the ground. We come into a high lunge. The arms come up. And then let's lower all the way down the right knee to the ground. The top of the right foot on the ground. We come back to this prayer hands position. This time we're crossing the right elbow over the left knee. Palms together. Elbow, wrist, wrist, elbow. That's our leverage to get a twist to the left, looking over the left elbow. And again, you can take the power position by tucking the right toes and straightening the right leg. Just keep that leg strong if you take that option. Keep breathing. That's the most important part. And now release. Find that high lunge one more time, the arms come up. And then we use that to step the feet forward. The feet end up hip width again. Bring the hands to the hips, breathe in, lift the chest, stand tall. Breathe out, fold forward at the hips. Bend the knees, and we take the hands, the fingertips are pointing back and the palms are facing up, and we're sliding the hands under the feet and slide them really far, maybe as far as having your toes touch the wrist. From here, relax your head. Press the toes into the hands as you try to pull the hands off the ground to lift the feet up. We want to feel this stretch in the upper back, maybe all the way through the lower back. Let your head hang heavy. And then release. Bring the hands to the hips, bend the knees. And we stand back up. Bring the hands to the side. Let's take 2 full breaths here. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the nose. Inhale. And we move now to a balancing pose, and this pose is called the tree pose. We'll be standing on the left leg, and there are a few different options for how you do the tree pose. So a low tree pose would have the right knee bent, and the right heel just provides a little bit of a kickstand support here. And we're trying to open that right hip. So this is one way to do this. Another way is to lift the foot up onto the left calf, but under the knee. And you can also lift all the way up above the knee. And the trick for making the foot stay here without the hand being there is to press the heel into the upper inner part of the left thigh and keep the left leg straight. It's hard at first, but it actually makes it easier to stay in the pose. Now, if it's impossible for the foot to stay there, then hold on. Just hold on to it with your right hand. And if you're doing that, we can then lift the left hand to the sky. And if the foot stays on its own, you can lift the left hand up as well. Now for balance, bring your gaze where you look, bring it down to the ground. If you feel really good with the balance, you can start to look forward. Or if you want more of a challenge, you can look up. Or maybe close one eye or close both eyes and notice the difference. And take a couple more breaths here in tree. And then release the pose. Lower the right leg down. And we switch sides. And take whichever option you would like. It's okay to progress through them. Some days one option feels better than other days. And the most important thing is you do what's right for your body today. So we can bring one hand up. Let's try a little bit different position, maybe bending at the elbows. If you can release, you could bring the other hand up. And again, try to be relaxed at the neck, the space between the shoulder blades. We want to let go of tension there. And if you enjoyed the challenge on the other side of looking straight forward or looking up or closing one or both eyes, feel free to do that this time. And if you're happy just looking down, that's good too. Last breath here. And then release the pose, lower the leg. Stand with the feet together, the hands to the side, palms facing forward. We're connecting movement with the breath. So breathe in, lift the arms up, look up. Breathe out, move the palms away from each other and swan dive down into the forward fold. Relax your head. Bend the knees, flatten the back, coming into a half lift position. Place the hands on the mat, step back to a high plank. From high plank, bring the knees to the ground and sit the hips back toward the heels, like you're going to sit all the way back. And then lower the elbows to the ground, and we're going to scoop the chest down like it's coming in for landing. And then let the hips stay down, the tops of the feet down, and we're just lifting up into a cobra. And don't use your hands to push up, rather use your core strength to lift up, but keep the back of the neck long. From here, press back to the knees, tuck the toes under, come to a downward facing dog. Remember to keep the fingertips spread evenly. It's okay to have a bend in the knees. And you're looking back between the knees or back through the feet. And then from here, our next position will just be sitting on the mat with the legs extended in front. So look forward, bend the knees. And we're just walking the feet forward, crossing at the ankles, and coming to a seated position. Legs extended in the front, hands to the side. From this position, bring the toes in one nice long line and try to separate the toes. Hands will be right at the hips. Elbows are bent. And make the chin level so the back of the neck stays long. And then from here, we're doing a big bend of the knees. Lift, so press the hands into the mat, lift the hips up and reach back behind you. And then from there, we'll have fun with this. We'll take the tops of the feet, a big bend in the knees, and we're trying to draw the knees into the armpits. So think like a baby. Well, a baby probably wouldn't be thinking about this, but doing it very easily. So move like a baby. And we're trying to bring knees into armpits. The feet are separated hip width, and we want to keep that connection. Knees and armpits. The chest, so the torso is stuck to the upper legs. We're keeping that position as we press the heels away from the body. And don't break the connection. So when it's impossible to move anymore, stay there. Pull on the feet. Keep the back of the neck long. And maybe you can press the heels a little further away. Now, from here, it's okay to break the connection. So we let the heels go a little bit further away. You can tuck the chin into the chest and let the upper back round. So big forward stretch. And just go as far as your flexibility will allow you. Don't force it beyond that. Release the pose. And from here, we're just doing a little bit of a counter pose. So we'll be placing the tops of the feet on the ground, bending the knees, and just sending the hips up to the ceiling. Hands are right under the shoulders, and let your head drop back. And we're just here for a few more seconds. And then lower down. For the next pose, you may want to use that strap or belt, especially if you know that the backs of your legs, if you know your hamstrings are really tight. So in this pose, it's called Janu Sirsasana. We're going to keep the left leg straight, bend the right knee, bringing the bottom of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Now, for some people, this foot feels very close, and it's a very easy stretch to come forwards. For others, it's like the foot is really far away. If that's the case, and that's how it is for me, bend the left knee, use the strap or belt, whatever you find, or some clothing, And we're going to place it on the ball of the foot, not on the midfoot, but on the ball of the foot. And what we want to do in this pose is keep the back nice and straight. And we're looking over the left toes. And if you can extend the leg a little bit more, then extend it. Try to press the right knee, the bent knee, press it down to the ground. And we're trying to draw the chest toward the left toes. And if you're holding on to the foot, again, it's important that your back is straight, that you're not rounding forward and letting the energy just fade away. We're keeping the energy alive in the pose. Keep the breath alive as well. And then we release the pose and change sides. So the left knee bends, the right leg is extended. Again, we're trying on our own to push this left knee to the ground to open the left hip. So come to the position you need to set up the pose with a nice straight back. I'll demonstrate with a strap on this side. And once you're ready to come down, you're just pulling forward, looking over the right toes, keeping the back straight. And then release the pose. And we'll bring both feet together. The knees will come out to the sides. From here, sit nice and tall. Keep the back straight, and we're just hinging forward with a straight back. And you might want to use the elbows to bring yourself forward. It's just important that you're not rounding forward. We just want to keep the back straight, leaning forward. Keep the back of your neck long, and breathe. Now on your next exhale, it's okay to round forward. So you can bring the forehead in the direction of the big toes, and it's okay to pull on the toes, round the spine, bring the chin into the chest. And then lift back up. Lengthen your back again, so sit tall. We're just going to bring the chin down to the chest. You may want to close your eyes here. This is a stretch of the muscles of the neck and the upper back, chin to chest. And then lift the chin. And then we'll bring the right ear to the right shoulder. Back to center, left ear to left shoulder. Back to center. Leave the legs in place here, especially the left leg. It's going to stay with this bend, and we'll take the right leg and just flip it to bring the knee, the right knee, to the inside of the left foot. So the way that worked again, we just brought the knee in, flipped the leg, and we'll be doing a twist here over the left shoulder. So on a breath in, grow the spine, make yourself tall. On a breath out, the right hand can cross the left knee, just to give a little bit of pressure. And we want to drive this twist from the lower spine up. And that's different from driving it from the neck. So the neck is the last part of the body to move, and only gently. and then return to center. And now we'll just send the knees the opposite way to make an easy change of sides here. And then make yourself tall again. Breathe in, lengthen the spine. On the breath out, we're twisting to the right. The left hand is crossed over the right knee, just to give a little help for the twist. Breathe in, lengthen the spine. Breathe out, deepen the twist. But there's no tension in the neck in this twist. You can use your eyes as well to look more to the right. So we finish the twist with where we're looking over the right shoulder. And then release. And we're coming back into just a cross-legged position here. And we'll do just a few breaths, a few deep breaths here at the end. If you're comfortable sitting like this, then stay like that. If you would like to sit on a block or a cushion or something to elevate the hips, sometimes that's more comfortable for breathing. And keep the back straight. And close your eyes. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. And now I'll add some counts. We'll breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold your breath. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. The last round, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Take a long inhale in through the nose, and then open your mouth, release all of the air. And from here, you're welcome to pause the video, lie back on your back for a Shavasana, or just continue with your day. Thanks so much for joining my class. I wish you the very best. Namaste.